Autobiographical works. Hi, hello, I am here with the most significant topic of English literature, and that is most significant autobiographical works in English literature. In every exam, we would get 2 to 3 marks from this topic for sure. And here we are get going with William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth, 1770, his autobiographical work is Prelude. William Wordsworth was an English romantic poet who, with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, helped to launch the Romantic Age in English literature with their joint publication Lyrical Ballads 1798. William Wordsworth's magnum opus is generally considered to be the Prelude, a semi-autobiographical poem of his early years that he revised and expanded a number of times. It was posthumously titled and published by his wife in the year of his death, before which it was generally known as the Poem to Coleridge. Wordsworth was Poet Laureate from 1843 until his death from pleurisy on 23rd April 1850. He remains one of the most recognizable names in English literature and poetry and was a key figure of the Romantic poets. Next, P.B. Shelley, 1772. Percy Bysshe Shelley was an English writer who is considered one of the major English Romantic poets, a radical in his poetry as well as in his political and social views. Shelley did not achieve fame during his lifetime, but recognition of his achievements in poetry grew steadily following his death, and he became an important influence on subsequent generations of poets, including Robert Browning, Algernon Charles Swinburne, Thomas Hardy, and W.B. Yeats. American literary critic Harold Bloom describes him as a superb craftsman, a lyric poet without rival, and surely one of the most advanced sceptical intellects ever to write a poem. Percy Bysshe Shelley did not write a formal autobiography. However, his life and thoughts are reflected in his poetry, particularly in works like Julian and Maddallow, which discusses his relationship with Lord Byron, and in biographical accounts written by his close friend Thomas Jefferson Hogg. Shelley's letters and other writings also offer insights into his personal life and beliefs. Next writer, Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens, 1812, his autobiographical work is David Copperfield. Charles John Huffman Dickens was an English novelist, journalist, short story writer, and social critic. He created some of literature's best known fictional characters and is regarded by many as the greatest novelist of the Victorian era. His works enjoyed unprecedented popularity during his lifetime, and by the 20th century critics and scholars and recognized him as a literary genius. His novels and short stories are widely read today. While Charles Dickens never wrote a formal autobiography, his novel David Copperfield is widely considered his most autobiographical work. It draws heavily on his own childhood experiences, particularly his difficult time working in a factory as a boy. Other novels like Great Expectations and Little Dorrit also contains autobiographical elements reflecting his experiences with poverty, social class, and the legal system. Next writer, Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman, 1819, was an American poet, essayist, and journalist. He also wrote 2 novels. He is considered one of the most influential poets in American literature and world literature. Whitman incorporated both transcendentalism and realism in his writings and is often called the father of free verse. His work was controversial in his time, particularly his 1855 poetry collection Leaves of Grass, which was described by some as obscene for its over sensuality. Walt Whitman did not write a formal autobiography, but he did incorporate autobiographical elements into his writings, particularly in his collection Leaves of Grass. He also wrote prose works like Specimen Days, which included autobiographical accounts of his life and experiences. Next, Hemingway 1899, and his autobiographical work is The Great Hills of Africa. Mulkraj Anand 1905, his autobiographical work is Seven Summers. Kamala Das 1934, her autobiographical work is My Story, and it is called Ente Katha in Malayalam. And that's it from here. Thank you for staying with us. We'll meet you soon again with another most significant topic of English literature. Press on subscribe button and stay connected with channel.